What's going on, folks? Welcome back to DLF HD. This is Victor, and today we're going to be discussing the new Nintendo Switch OLED model. This is a new console, or at least an iteration that Nintendo has announced that they will be releasing in October. So without any further delay, let's jump right into it.
Switch it up. Switch it up. I was a worker, had to upgrade to a boss. Used to live in the hood, but had to upgrade to a low.
There's been so much speculation recently that there would be a Switch Pro model coming out at least by the end of next year. It was reported by Bloomberg, so many other sites, credible sites, saying that this console was locked and loaded and ready to come out. Now, the speculation was whether or not this was going to be a fully revamped Switch with so many new features, or if this was more so going to be an upgraded version with just a few quality of life features. And judging by the trailer that they put out, it was about 3 minutes long, or a little less than that. This is definitely just a slight step up from the base model. It's akin to basically the 3DS XL, and the Switch Lite is akin to basically the 2DS. Essentially, we have the Switch Lite, which is more for, sort of casual gaming, people who aren't really looking to play with other friends, but mainly play with themselves. You've got the base model, which of course is widely accessible to all people. And then you have the OLED model, which is more for, I guess, the people that want the optimal experience. This OLED model is going to feature a much larger screen that basically fills in what was a bezel on the original Switch model. It's really cool. I think that's a great feature. It's something that a lot of people wanted, and personally, those bezels sort of got on my nerves, especially more recently as I'm trying to play my games in handheld mode, just these giant black bars blocking off what I'm, wanting to be extended fully. It's just sort of annoying, and so it's great to see this. Also, hence by the name, it has an OLED screen, and so a lot of the images, while I'm pretty sure they're still going to be 720, are going to look a lot more sharp and beautiful. This is really exciting, especially for the more, I guess, taxing games for the Nintendo Switch. It's going to be awesome to see how crisp they look on this OLED screen. It's not going to affect, frame rate or, I guess, the textures that have been muddied in order to fit onto this console, but it will just overall sort of crispen the photo that you get to see with your eyes, and that's a benefit, especially considering that this model is not that much more expensive than the base model. The base model was $300 at its launch. It is still $300, and this OLED model is going to be $350. Now, judging by the fact that it has an Ethernet port built in, I would assume that that is a little bit of a price upgrade as far as, the materials that it takes to purchase from Nintendo, what they're buying, having an Ethernet port built in. I'm sure that that is something that's a little bit more expensive, especially considering that the adapter Ethernet ports that go into the USB, typically those range from about $20 to $30 on their own. I'm sure that's a price up basically because they have to make money, but at the same time, having the Ethernet port explains the $50 extra. Also, I would assume that the new kickstand that is featured on this unit, one of the main appeals, is also very important. Now, that kickstand is awesome in the sense that finally we are going to have fully capable co-op in the tabletop mode, because previously you had this little tiny flimsy kickstand that would, the kickstand was on one side of the unit, so it would fall over and easily, and it was extremely annoying to use. Now, I typically don't play on tabletop mode, but there's more of incentive to now with this kickstand. It covers the entire back and is very flexible, similar to the Surface Pro. That's what I've heard. I know somebody who has a Surface Pro, and that kickstand is sort of just, you can push it back and forth, and you can put it at any level you want to, rather than the normal kickstand, which is just, just one way. You can only put it in or all the way out. There's no adjusting the screen. So that kickstand, that chunk of metal has got to cost a little bit of money, right? So I'm sure that this $50 price upgrade is fully justified. I think it's going to be really cool to see how this model works, especially considering that the dock is a little bit reworked. I'm liking its style. They're going for a white style. You can also get it in the traditional black with the red and blue Joy-Con like the original model, but they've got white Joy-Cons and a white dock. It's really cool that this game, this console is launching around the time that the game Metroid Dread comes out, the same day. And so they have this little white model that clashes with the black sort of grip, and that's sort of akin to the Samus game that's coming out with the new villain character that's got a lot of white and red and black, and I feel like they're totally going for a vibe there, trying to connect it to the game itself. It's really interesting that so many people thought that this Switch upgrade was going to be something huge. They were talking about 4K capabilities, all these extra functions that were going to make this really sort of a next generation unit, but that's not really what we got. Now, they're kind of following the exact same formula that the 3DS followed. So we talked about how this OLED model is very similar to the 3DS XL. Well, guess what came next? The new 3DS and new 3DS XL. This is almost a complete overhaul of the system. It played all the same games, same UI and everything, but it really beefed up the power. They added more RAM. It had better processing overall, and I think that that's what we're going to get in a couple years. They are really going to actually revamp the Switch. This is something that I am almost certain is going to happen, because based off of the pattern of the past, this is in line with what they did with the 3DS. Now, it's Nintendo, and of course they're going to surprise us with something insane that is absolutely not what we expected, but if we're going to follow any trends from the past, this is one that I think is a pretty good guess as to what they're going to do next. Now, they actually advertised Breath of the Wild a lot with this new OLED model, and so that leads me to believe that the OLED model is going to launch in October and that we're going to see Breath of the Wild very soon. I'm really excited for this console. We might pick it up and review it for the channel. I don't know. It's pretty expensive, and I already own 2 Switches. We'll have to see, but it looks really cool. I'm really excited to see a more diverse family of systems. Now there's 3 SKUs, or really 4, because there was the base model and then the red box model that upgraded the processor to have better battery usage. So it's really cool to see all these different types of Switches, and let me know in the comments which Switch is your favorite and if you're going to get the new OLED Switch.
Alright guys, thanks for watching. Let us know in the comments down below what you thought of this video. We love talking to you guys. Remember to like and subscribe for more videos like these. Lastly, check out our Twitter account for gameplay of the latest releases. But most importantly of all, remember to always stay 1-up.